In this episode of My First Win, I head for some much needed swing work with my coach.
Most important thing is the structure at the top there.
I jet off to Dubai to play in my first event of the year, and I do something in a competition that I've not done since this journey began. So in 5 days' time, I am going to be flying to Dubai, partially because the weather right here in Britain right now is fit for Noah's Ark, but more for the fact that I'm actually playing in my first competition of the year. And that competition is the Skillest Pro Am. It's a 4-day Pro Am competition. It is going to be held at some truly stunning golf courses. Thanks to Andy Carter and Play Golf Dubai, they have managed to organise for us day 1 being at Yas Links Golf Club, day 2 being at the Els Club, day 3 being at Dubai Hills, and then finishing off at day 4 at the Majlis Golf Club. So we've got a treat out there. The weather's going to be perfect. I just need to get my game in shape before we go. Now, one thing that I do want to improve on is this, my driver. And that is because, as we can see here, I've got some data that's been collected for me by ShotScope, by the tags in my club. And the driver, it is improving, but as we can see from some of the stats there, it's not where it needs to be. I need to hit more fairways. I need to get that ball in play off the tee, because otherwise I'm then limiting my ability to actually get the ball close and highlight one of my strengths, which is my putting. So by increasing the number of fairways that I would hit and also increasing my strokes gain number with my driver, that should actually lead to a better improvement in my scores and overall improvement in my game by just making it a little bit easier. Now, thanks to the power of simulation, I will be going through a test here at the Majlis golf course on my Foresight simulator. I'm going to tee off 9 times with the driver on holes that I think that I will be using it out there. Reason for this, I want to do a little bit of a fairway test, give me a little bit of confidence for when I do get out to Dubai, but also provide myself with those baseline stats, because what I want to try and do throughout the My First Win series is have brackets and baselines of where my good performances are at. If I'm just doing things willy-nilly, I probably won't have an idea of what's good and what's bad. So by doing this, I get those numbers. When I get out to Dubai, I can dial in and see where I'm at. I'm going to go through these holes. The first one being the first, I'm unsure whether I'll hit driver here. So this will be a good test for me to have whether I do hit driver, because there is bunkers down there at 280. But I'll go through my pre-shot routine each time and just basically see if I can get the ball in the fairway at a distance that I would deem acceptable, sort of carrying it over 285 really. And ideally trying to hit, I think, over 60% of the fairways. Take that as stroke 1. Is it going to be a good? See, interesting. That's interesting, because I've hit it nice, carried it 289, but I'm in the rough, and you can't be in the rough going out to that hole. So fairway 1 not found. If I leaked it. Good carry numbers. Getting good baseline numbers, which is good. Just need to hit some fairways. That would be again A1. It's our first fairway found. What I like is where my club head speed is at here. 114 we're hovering around. I reckon if I can do that out on course, that provides me with great success, because I've got the tendency to get too steery and get, you know, down to high 10, 18, 108, 19. That would be better. Hold your line. If I hit all these, I'd be happy with these so far. 2 out of 4 on the fairway, and that is a shot that I wanted, taking some off, getting the spin up and just getting it in play. hit it too straight on that line. Ooh, no. I over Patrick Reeded it. Literally every time I played that golf course I've been there. Straight down the banner. Left when you land. Be right. Get up! Get up! I'll count that. Count that. I'm giving myself one. So here are my baseline statistics from the Foresight GC3, and these are what I need to use throughout the year to help me get a good track of where my driving is, because I was really happy with actually how I hit it then. It was very straight, there wasn't too much curvature on it, and if something's going awry, I can look back at these numbers, pinpoint the one that isn't quite off, relate that to my swing or the equipment and say, well, what do we need to do to actually get back to better? But those numbers for you there, just to run through them quickly. We can see my ball speed, 165 miles an hour. I would like to see that creeping into the early 170s to maybe high 170s, and that's all part of my fitness journey and getting better and swinging it quicker throughout this My First Win series. We can see the launch angle at 13.6, the backspin at 2,500, and my club head speed at 115, and that's a big key for me. If I can keep my club head speed at around that 115 and keep the ball straight, the courses that I'm playing throughout the My First Win series don't necessarily need me to be bombing it through the air at 300 yards. If I can do what I'm doing there, that would set me up for a lot of short wedges and even just chips onto the greens on the courses that I'll be playing throughout the series. All that though said, those four numbers would equate to a total carry number of 288 yards. So pretty decent. I would maybe like to see that go up ever so slightly, but as I alluded to there, distance isn't going to be the big thing. I think for my game also, keeping it in the fairway and giving myself the opportunity of hitting a decent mid-iron into the green or short iron is far more imperative than actually trying to bomb it and ending up in the trees. Another thing that I need to do before heading off to practice and cementing some bad habits is actually get in here, go and see Damian for a lesson and check that everything that we're working on is in order. Let's go.
It is.
Thank you, sir. Are we well?
Yeah, all good, all good. That's it. See how you have to work there. Now, as much as you can, doesn't really matter what happens to the ball, as much as you can, try and recreate that same thing. Keep that pressure on that ball, that trail on, as much as you can. Do you feel like you kept it off?
I went a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's down the line, so you got to be happy.
That's me, it's good shot. That's it right. It's a good shot. I mean, this is what we're saying. You know, we looked at
Yeah.
numbers.
It fit like, to me, it felt like that. Yeah.
And that's the only thing with that ball, which is what we're talking about the widening. You know, with the ball, you can obviously keep the ball in play and get.
Yeah.
But when we look at numbers wise, I mean, it's as neutral as you're going to get.
Damian, you've been working with Matt for what, about a year now?
Yes.
What improvements have you seen in his swing?
Again, we've got a little bit what we've just been talking about there, and obviously we put the TRS ball in play probably a month or two ago, and that's gave him a really good sort of feel, some really good feedback for what he's trying to feel at the top of his swing, and that's essentially just trying to get it a little shorter, a little bit more compact, as opposed to getting a little bit long and he gets a little bit across, which is what his old tendency is. So, you know, it's a lot tighter in the backswing, and therefore it helps him to get into that delivery position a lot better, and he can drop it into that slot. And as he just said himself there, he can start to then sort of hit different shots. You know, if he's got a little crosswind, little right to left wind, he can hit a little hold, little fade into the wind, or he can, if it's a right to left, he can sort of hold it as well. So, you know, obviously the structure at the top of the swing, and he's just got a bit more of an understanding and a blueprint of where he's trying to get to with his swing now. And the key thing is he's got certain drills, this being the one here, that he can just go to. And all the best players in the world, they'll have a certain drill that they'll go to, and this this for Matt is this is the one. It sort of helped him to get certainly into some better positions and produce some better numbers through TrackMan as well. Lost the shot, but again, don't mind that.
Yeah.
You know, it's more at this stage, you know, when you take that off and you go back into sort of performance training,
Yeah.
you're not as much, you know, you're not bothered about that as much, but when
Yeah.
you're doing your sort of technical work, that's when you're really trying to feel. It doesn't matter if you hit bad shots, you're really trying to feel and
Yeah.
keep that pressure on the ball there.
Now, another area of my game that needs improving is my short game. And you can see from the stats here, especially from the 25 to 50 yard range, that is where I need to spend most of my time. But unfortunately, due to the weather, I've not had much chance to get out on the short game areas like this one here at High Lee. And that's where this comes in handy. So we've come down to the Montgomery here in Dubai. I'm going to utilise my Saturday and Sunday to get some good practice in before the competition starts. So there's a few areas that I wanted to get sorted. Firstly was my short game, starting off at the pitching green, just getting my touch in, getting that feel dialed in with a few different shots with my lob wedge. From there then I moved on to hitting some fuller pitches, measuring those with the new LM1 launch monitor from ShotScope. Then it was into the work that Damian had given me with the TRS ball, just grinding in the swing feels, really trying to lock that down. After that, we headed out onto the short game course at the Montgomery Resort, which was truly incredible. Nearly had a hole-in-one on the first hole as well. And to top it all off with that day, we went and played a few holes, 9-hole match, myself and Andy, just getting my first feel of full golf back in Dubai, summer swings. Let's see if that can help me building into the comp.
So here it is, day one of the Skillest Pro Am. We're about to get the transfer up to Yas Links up in Abu Dhabi. Slept okay, feeling pretty good. Met the team last night, so going to get underway. I am feeling a little bit nervous. This last few days has been a nice settle into Dubai, bit of practice, bit of heat, bit of chilled time. But all of a sudden, waking up this morning, knowing this is the first comp of the new season and the new series, it's dawning on me ever so slightly that it's here, it's real. So I'm just going to try and take those nerves in, go and get a good breakfast now, get warmed up when we get up to Yas Links, and then from there, let's see what we can do. I'd be buzzing with somewhere around level par, but the only thing I'm trying to do today, 3 C's, be committed to my choices, be confident as I'm out there, and stay calm. If I can do those 3 things, and also one side thing, just be a great playing partner to my teammates, I think we're in for a great day. So let's get up there. Let's get day one under progress.
So I'm not going to bore you with what's just happened, but we've just found out that for some reason, the footage from the first round at Abu Dhabi gone. Don't know what has happened. Backed it up onto a hard drive, sent it over WeTransfer. It's disappeared, and I'm back in the hotel now. It's after day 3. I'm close to tears because I feel like I've let everybody watching down. I played a nice round of golf. I had 34 points, 2 over par. I'm a little bit off the lead, you'll see from the leaderboard there, but just infuriating. But we've got 3 more days to film, so we're going to get stuck into those. This is day 4 now that I'm about to go to Emirates and tee off. I know that the other 2 days footage is there already. The editor has it, so we're okay. But yeah, I just don't know. That's why I've got such a wonderful team. Joe and the lads looking after all the filming aspect there back at home this week. I'm doing it on my own, and I don't know what has happened there. This is the actual first time we've ever lost any footage, but okay, Sarah, we move on. Let's get into day 2, see how we can build. Okay, so it is day number 2. We are at the Els course, and I'm looking forward to today. A course that I played once, but about 7 years ago, so I can't really remember it. If I keep it well off the tee like I did yesterday, and just be a little bit sharper around the greens, I fancy our chances, because we didn't do too bad yesterday, just a few sloppy errors, But over all that, I think it's going to be another good day. We're going to get warmed up, hit a few shots and get out there and go and see what we can do. 6 shots to make up, I think, is the gap now. So if we can half that by the end of today, we're on the right path.
So that is day 2 in the books, and I'm just going through some of the footage here and having a look at some of the shots that I've hit. And I feel disappointed after today. Front 9, brilliant. I was 2 under par. It was going smoothly, wasn't pushing too much. I made 4 straight pars, which was a little bit infuriating because I had 3 chances from inside 15 foot and didn't hole any of them. I then make an eagle on the 5th, which was great. Followed that up then with a 3-putt bogey, the first of what is going to be the story of this round. But kept my cool, kept going, made a nice birdie on 8 and parred 9 to then finish that 9 off 2 under. Felt great. Then going into the back 9, doubled the 10th from the middle of the fairway, 110 yards out, just caught my wedge a little bit thin. Bounced over the back of the green into a bush, double, que sera. Thought, it's okay, let's keep going. You know, you're hitting it nicely. I'm hitting it great off the tee. I'm hitting some good shots in. Just got to stay patient. I then hit a nice 9-iron in on the 11 that pitched up about 10 foot, spun back down the front to the front of the green, and then 3-putt bogey. That one, still though, quite positive at this point. Next hole, tricky little one, wedged it into like 10 foot, missed that one. From there, then hit my only real bad driver of the day, just a little bit unsure on the tee and just smothered it a little left, but then hit an incredible recovery shot out of the sort of wasteland, deserty bit next to the houses up to about 25 feet. Had to go under a tree, get it up onto a green, to a blind green, and was really proud of how I bounced back from that terrible drive. I then 3-putt bogey that one from 25 feet. So not great. I had birdied the previous hole, the 13th, but then following that up with that 3-putt bogey on 14. And then we get to the 15th. I was a little bit unsure here. I definitely, looking back at the tee shot, chose the wrong club off the tee. I hit 3-wood, couple of bounces into the water, penalty drop. I then make a bogey down there, a 2-putt from like 60 feet because the wedge where I dropped it was a little bit snarly rough. Again, I'm thinking it's okay, we can keep going. You've got a drivable par 4 16th coming up. You've got a par 5 to finish with, and I've birdied and eagled all the other par 5s today. They're all playing like driver 6-iron for me, bar one I hit driver 3-wood too. But I thought, right, let's keep going. We can get a few in the tank here. We can get in at level par, I think would be a good score, given that I've not held 6 chances from inside 15 feet, and I've had 3-putt bogeys 3 times. So that was fine. Again, 16th, not a bad drive, just pulled it slightly left. It's 295, I think it was, flag. I was in the wasteland, splashed up to the just to about 10 foot on the green, 11 foot maybe, missed that one. And then I made my worst iron swing of the day, plugged it into a bunker, 2 to get out, 2 putts, and there's a double. Yeah, didn't feel like that was a bad golf swing and I deserved to, get plugged, but the double felt a little bit of a kick in the teeth. And then I birdied the last hole, hit driver, great driver down there, left myself like 200 yards, hit 6-iron to the back of the green and 2-putted for a finishing birdie. But looking at it overall, my putting, considering I've shot 3 over par there, and 38 of the strokes were putts, when normally my average last year I think was 29 to 30 putts around. So I've had nearly 10 strokes more to be 3 over. The leaders are currently 8 under par, I'm 5 over par, and I've done that twice. Yesterday's I think was 34 putts, so a 36 and a 34. If I putted half of as good as I would have, I'd be comfortably under par, but that's golf. I have noticed something looking in the footage. My setup looks just slightly out with my putting. The ball position looks a little bit back, and I have been
just a little bit pacey and leaving them generally missing on the high side. So whether I'm just getting it a little bit open in the stroke, I'm going to get to the course tomorrow. I'm going to get some rest now, and I'm going to get a little bit of putting practice in, because I think if the way I'm driving it the best I think I've ever drove it in the last 5 years. If I can do that and keep hitting some good wedge shots like I've been doing, which is where I've sort of mainly focused my practice when we got out here, a lot of wedges and then just getting that driver comfortable and sorted. If I can bring the putting back, who knows? Carter's 9 strokes in front of me. If I can claw it back over the next 2 days by just putting a little bit of putting magic in, I'm excited to see how we can get climbing up this leaderboard, because my attitude's been better, the driving's been better, the wedging's been better. It's just that putting's let me down, but let's keep going. Plenty more golf to be played. Right, it is a new dawn, it is a new day. Day 3, Dubai Hills. We are off to the putting green to go and fix our stroke. Quick bit of warming up on the range, and then we're going to go and do business. This is the man that we have to catch. Andrew Carter has actually putted better than me this week, so we know we're in trouble. I'm just saying that you've put better than me this week. It's scary. But Dubai Hills, easier golf course, kind of greens. I'm gonna claw those 9 shots back on him, and I'm also gonna claw a few back. Yeah. Well, when I put like you, prime you, it's gonna happen.
So all I did with my putting was change the ball position. I'd noticed that it crept back to middle of my stance to even back behind that at some points. So here on the Vizio putting template, I moved it forwards, just monitored the ball position. I just got rolling the ball better again, which was going to help me with my putting.
Even after just a couple of putts on the Vizio mat, I can tell that the setup was out. Ball was far too back, so a little bit more forwards and get it rolling. Putting done. One thing that is amazingly true about this, everything is about the basics, your fundamentals. My ball position's been out, I've had it too far back, hence why I've been missing everything a little bit right and maybe a little bit long, because I'll be leaving the face open and de-lofting it. So always check those fundamentals. A few iron shots though now on the range, then we're heading out. 10th tee start for us today. I've not played this course, so let's hope the good driving continues and the putter heats up now. Finally, a putt of length. Finally. Well, that was more of what we wanted. Right, let's take a look at it. Well, day 3, what a success it has been today. A totally different kettle of fish on the greens. Now, we played Dubai Hills, a course that I've not played before. From what everyone was saying, it was going to be the easiest course that we played all week. It was generous off the tee, the greens weren't as severe and they weren't as fast. For myself, started on the back 9, the 10th hole, and got off to a good start here, good drive down the middle and a wedge up to about 2 feet, which warranted a tap-in birdie to get us going from there. From there on out then, I think it's been pretty much the same story all week, driving it fantastically. The fairways are a bit more generous out here in Dubai, but they are littered with bunkers. But over and over again, I've just been really committed to what shape I want to hit it, what my one swing thought is with driver, been really clear and concise and hitting some really nice drives. The good thing I've done as well from those drives is hit some good approach shots in, hit a lot of nice wedges in again today, left myself a lot of chances from inside that makeable range of sort of 15 foot and in. Missed one early on the 12th, I think it was, which was our 3rd hole, but just kept going, and I think my mindset's been really good. But the big changing point today was the putter. Yes, the greens were a little bit less severe and a little less quick, but I I spent that time on the putting green beforehand looking at my setup, and that was the one thing that I really focused on out there on today, just making sure my ball position was right, because I'd noticed watching back after day 1 and day 2 that it was just a little bit back in the stance, so I made sure it was a little bit forwards, didn't change anything I did with read or pace, just altered that one basic thing. And you know, the putts from day 1 and day 2 were pretty good putts, but they just were shaving the holes. But now they have started dropping, they are going in, which is, you know, music to my ears, because it's the first time I've actually broke par in a professional competition since we've started doing this thing, since I've started playing comps again. So really, really happy about today. Left a few out there. If I can go on to Madulis, hold my nerve. I've climbed up to 4th place. Carter's had an amazing week. You know, he's putted the lights out, which is great to see. So maybe we can chase down 3rd. Who knows? We could maybe get into the top 2. Michael Farrier-Twister's had an amazing week with his score. So I don't think the win's going to happen, but who knows? You know, Madulis is a tricky golf course and can quite easily throw up some horrible stuff. So let's see what we can do. Let's get down there. Keep driving it well, keep hitting the approach stuff decent, hold a few putts again. Who knows? Day 4, come on. Well, the final day is here. We are down at Emirates, the Madulis golf course. Iconic skyline there in the background. Still reeling a little bit about what happened about day 1 after finding out about that last night, but it is what it is. Got to focus today, I've got some shots to make up. 7 behind 2nd place, I think I am, from memory. I'm going to flash the leaderboard up here now, but just keep doing what we've been doing, drive it well, hit the approaches good, hopefully keep the putter in check today, and let's see if we can climb. It's early morning, shotgun start at 7:30. We're off on the 7th, which is the par 3, so I'm going to go and warm up my practice shot for that after I've hit a few chips, and see if we can get the touch in shape to go and hopefully get under par in a round again, because yesterday was a great building block. So let's see what we can do for our final day. And that was that. Let's evaluate. Let's see my thoughts, what I scored, because I actually don't know. That's one good thing to come this week. I've not been completely aware of my score the whole time.
So the Madulis final round started incredibly well. I started on the 7th, it was a shotgun start at 7:30. 7th was our first, being a par 3. Hit a great 9-iron in here, about 10 feet and hold it. So real Brucey bonus, knowing that I need to come out of the blocks hot. I need to chase down Andy, try and get into that 3rd, that 2nd spot. 8th, little bit of a scaredy cat drive, pulled it slightly, didn't want to flare it into the desert out on the right on that iconic tee shot. But the great news was, again, attitude was really good and hit a really good approach shot in here to about 6 feet from 150 yards, which was awesome. To start birdie. I've never done that in a competition round, and knowing that I needed a hot start, it was a really good validation to myself that some of the work that I've been putting in was paying off. The 9th, a tee shot that I struggle with. There is a lot of dog legs out on the Madulis golf course. About 5 of them that are pretty much 90-degree dog legs. And with Damian earlier in the week, before I went out to Dubai, we'd planned some of these tee shots, and I did exactly that down 9. I hit 7 out wood where I wanted to. But then the story of the round sort of starts here, because on the 2nd shot, I then put it in the water. If you know the hole, it's a dog leg from left to right, water in front of the green. One place you can't go is the water. And I pulled my 5-iron from 200 yards into the water. And that sort of was, like I say, the story of the round. I drove it okay. Hit some good ones, hit some bad ones, nothing drastic. It wasn't as good as the whole of the week has been, but it wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that approach play. I actually lost 3.51 strokes to the field on strokes gained here, and that was just not being in the fairway as much, but also just hitting some really bad shots. Just felt like I'd lost my swing and didn't quite get it where I wanted to be. The good news was that the attitude stayed great throughout the round. Even though I wasn't quite hitting it how I wanted to, I was able to keep plodding along and hit some good shots overall and give myself chances throughout this round and actually not implode and let the score really get away from me, which in past rounds I definitely would have done. Another great positive from the round was that the putting that I'd worked on at Dubai Hills stayed. I had 30 putts again today, which I had at Dubai Hills. The previous rounds, the first 2 days, was not there. And also my chipping came back. I made some great up and downs because with that poor iron play, I needed to lean into that. So again, some of that work that I'd done early on in the practice days really came in to save me. So overall, a frustrating round, but one that I can take a lot from. That when it was like it was bad into the greens, I was able to save myself. The putting was good, so I know that my putting's on the way back there. Now, overall, as the competition went, I actually finished 4th. I finished 10 shots behind Andy Carter. Michael Farrier Twist ran away with the event, but looking at it on the whole, I'm pretty happy with how the whole event went. As a Pro-Am where you're having a few beers the night before with your playing partners and you're maybe not firing on all cylinders, I think I did some good stuff. For me, 34 putts and 38 putts on day 1 and day 2 with a killer, 12 strokes actually from where I normally would be, which would just fly me straight up into 2nd spot, which I rely on my putting being a good part of the game, and there it just let me down. But overall, a really positive start to get my highest finish in an event since we've started this series, this journey to try and get my first win. Now, my next event is not too far away. It's the beginning of April. It's the Pro-Am that I ran last year, the Matt Fryer Mizuno Invitational at Thornby Ladies. And I've got a month now to get myself ready, really start grinding and getting into comp mode, because that is a single stroke play, 1 round event, which I need to be going in all cylinders firing. So fingers crossed we get it done this year. I've really enjoyed that first event. Thanks to Skillest and Play Golf Dubai for putting it on, and let's see what we can do. We're going to get this done, guys. Why not watch another video here where you can see me in a different round?